All right. Season 2. Let's go back to 2014, shall we? Hello. Wow. These Guild Wars 2 skins are getting wild. I don't know what I think about this. That looks so comfortable. Oof. Scenic dry top. My game. What is the deal with that? There it is. So what are we doing? Harvest plants in dry top, 10 events, mine ore, complete the mission. Alright, let's go back and do the stories, I guess.
Fortune. We came chasing a lead on some bandit traders.
Is it Gates of Maguma and Entanglement? How do I do this? I don't remember. Gates of Maguma and Entanglement. Yeah. Ah, good old E. Kendorian. I'm well aware of just how busy you are. However, you've heard the theories that Scarlet disturbed one of the dragons. I fear these theories have merit. My eyes and ears in Brisbane wildlands are reporting mysterious incursions into previously quiet areas. Go see for yourself. I hope your curiosity will spur you to action. Tangle Root. I bet you I can just go right back through the portal. I'm already in. Let's find out.
Tonight, I'll take your watch so you can get some extra sleep.
Listen here, Mother Hen. You can stop fussing. I'm fine. My ribs barely hurt anymore.
You ready? Let's join the others, shall we?
Hey, we've been waiting for you. There's a group of Seraph from the old fort. It's like they're having some trouble.
Doing all the way out
The others
here?
are on their way
How about
too.
we ask? Oh, look, there's the others.
We'll wait here for them, then go in.
Do you
How's
sense
your
it?
leg, Graham?
There's a hush in the
Barely a
air,
peep from him.
as if all but the bravest
through
of
those
birds
vines
have
just
left the
fine.
area.
Don't worry about him too
I
much.
don't like it.
He's tough.
I never said he wasn't.
You thought it.
What?
Nothing.
I want to talk to that Seraph and find out what's going
Oh
on.
my god, I forgot about Bram with hair. What are you waiting for? Let's go talk to that Seraph. Jory and Kaz will catch up. I want to get a sample of these living vines. I wonder if I could create hybrids? Easy there, mastermind. These things are dangerous. Oh my god, look how tiny she is. She must be 3 times this size at this point. There's some crazy stuff going on out here. Makes me really feel the different distance between us and the Citadel. This is a big adventure. Alright, alright. Don't get too excited. What's up, Captain Corporal Jensen?
Excuse me, Corporal. Looks like you've got a problem.
Oh,
on
this is
your
definitely
hands.
paced differently
Might
than newer
say so.
content.
We need to get through those vines, but they're impassable.
How about we give you a hand?
That'd be great. We're a small expeditionary squad.
What are you doing so far from the Reach?
We're tracking black market traders that came this way. We suspect they may have a secret ingress past this mess.
Well, let's see if we can help you clear a path.
Your help would be greatly appreciated, ma'am. Delacroix, come over here.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll be damned. Hey, sis.
I thought maybe this was your squad.
You're related?
Yes, sir. What are you doing here, Margie?
We heard a rumor there were strange goings-on in this area. We came to investigate.
As if taking on Scarlet wasn't enough excitement to last a lifetime. Let's talk. We've got some information about what's happening around here.
Here we go.
Inquest. Timmy, get in your golem.
Stay close, Jory.
Kaz, that's my line.
What are inquests doing here?
They're like rats. They show up everywhere there's death.
You guys go left. Kaz and I will go right.
We need to hold them back here. Our outpost can't withstand an all-out attack.
So it goes.
Delacroix, you take the eastern path.
I'm on it.
The other Delacroix.
Yes, sir.
You know what? This is very weird doing this solo. I did also with my wife back in the day. Big mood. Big mood. Oh man, this is boring. uh. All right. Let's defend the other workers. Whee! I remember my wife and I struggling with this back in the day. Not really sure where to go, what to do. You know, my sense of direction in the real world is pretty bad. For some reason in video games, I tend to do fine. I wonder why that is.
They're dropping golems in behind us.
I forget what the mechanic of this fight is.
Cascade failure imminent.
Come on. I failed the thing, right?
That was exciting. It's been a while since I've seen you in action. You've improved.
I've been getting lots of practice.
Looks like we've almost got those vines out of the way. You coming through with us?
Yeah, we want to see what's on the other side. You don't mind, do you?
If you come with us? Great gods, no. I don't get to spend enough time with you.
Let's see if you still feel that way after a few days of being around us.
Ho ho ho.
Delacroix, I have a mission for you. I need you to run back to Fort Salma and give them an update. Oversee getting soldiers posted here to keep these vines back. I don't want our retreat cut off just in case.
Yes, Corporal. I'll grab my gear and go.
I knew I could rely on you. Double time, Seraph.
Yes, Corporal.
Sounds a little bit like person voicing Timey.
It's okay. Some other time.
Derryberry?
I'm sorry I can't go with you. Promise you'll stop by Fort Salma on your way home and let me know how things went?
I will. Send Mama word that you saw me, will you? So she worries a little less.
Okay. I'd better get going. Take care of yourself, okay? Love you, sis.
Always. You too.
Belinda, it was good seeing you again.
Aw, same here. Goodbye.
The Inquest are brutal enemies. They have absolutely no conscience whatsoever. We're here to look into thieves working for the black market. The Inquest won't leave us alone. Must be a lab. Well, this is a forward scouting group. Maybe they're looking for a location to build a new one. They're fools, if so. These vines don't make this area exactly hospitable. Oh, where do the vines come from? As far as I know, the land west of here has been cut off more or less for a long time. Criminals seem to have a few secret routes to get in and out, but who knows what goes on over there? Criminals, huh? You think the vines were spreading inward from beyond the ridge? It's as good a guess as any, don't you think? What's out there? The Maguma Wastes. Other than that, who knows? The Orion flooding could have changed the entire landscape. It's a reference back to time gap from Guild Wars 1 to 2. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, I'm remembering how bewildering all this was. As someone who completely missed Season 1. Speak to Spark. I'm sorry this happened to you. I gotta go.
That structure is unstable. It would be unwise for us to go in. Scruffy's scan confirms that it won't support all our weight. According to my calculations, the most efficient combination would be you, Marjorie, and the rest of us can wait out here.
Did she just call us fat, Bram?
Yep. She sure did.
Facts are facts. 3 of us together weigh as much as 19 Casmirs.
Great. I'm a unit of measurement.
Lead on, boss. Kaz and I are with you. We'll holler for the rest of you if we need something smashed.
Smashed. Use Casimir's portal.
Hold on. I'll cast... Wait. Something's wrong.
What's the matter, dog?
I can't form a portal. Something here is blocking me.
I've collected some of the Zephyrite crystals. See if you can break through with the sun crystal.
What? That was weird.
Catch up.
Halt, intruders. This area falls under inquest jurisdiction. You are trespassing. Ergo, be gone, or we'll have no choice but to oust you.
Look, we're just trying to help these poor crash victims and find out what happened. Do you know anything about the crash?
All we know is that whatever lands in our territory is ours to salvage. Let us show you just how serious we are about this.
I guess we showed them. Still think I'm not ready for battle?
Listen, I'm sorry about how I've been acting. I just can't stand the thought of you getting hurt again. That scared the fluff out of me.
I know, honey. I felt the same way about you. But you convinced me that you can handle yourself. Now let me convince you.
All right. You could clear that gap with a lightning tether. Try this crystal.
I have a crystal right here.
Blocking my
Let's
way.
pull it out of my
Please keep an eye out for
pockets.
Now that it's out of commission, I should be able to conjure a short-range portal.
Help me! Please! Someone!
What dreadful business.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Please! I'm here! Help me!
Greetings. This one's alive, but hurt badly.
You're going to be okay. My friends and I will get you out of here.
Forget about me. The Master of Peace is in danger. Someone has to go find him and protect him.
The Master of Peace. Your leader. Where is he? Why is he in danger?
I don't know why, but the Sylvari is trying to kill him. Please.
Hey, Hey, stay with me. Oh, damn. She's dead.
I hate to speak ill of the dead, but that Zephyrite was lying.
About what?
Don't get me wrong. She was very afraid for the Master of Peace, but when she said she didn't know why he was in danger, I could tell. She was lying.
Right, Casimir has this weird truth sense, right?
Absolutely.
I totally
It was in her
forgot about
posture
that.
and in her eyes. She didn't give us the whole truth.
I believe you. Let's press on and see if we can find any more answers.
Hey, Henry. How are you? Ascend the cliff. Cliff. I can read.
I think you could make that jump with the
You had a headache today too?
Here, try this one.
I had a headache all day until the sun went down. I think the sun did it to me. Guess I gotta kill the enemies? Alright. You go sit in a hot shower. Hey, hope you feel better, dude. Take care of yourself. Be safe.
Hey, sugar.
Ooh. Hey, yourself. It's one tragedy after another. First Lion Sarge, and now this terrible accident. What's happening to our world? This was no accident. Look at those bodies. Their bodies are riddled with knife wounds. They didn't die in the crash. They were attacked. Before the crash, something happened on the ship. The Zephyrite always seemed so gentle to me, but these died fighting. There are defensive wounds in their hands and arms, as if they were shielding themselves from their attacker. No culture survives long without learning to die. This is really what I have to say? So many of them. It must have been a large force that attacked. I don't think so. Stab wounds are from some blade. No variation. I don't really care. I'm just
All
gonna
these
click through
dead.
this dialogue.
They're breaking my heart.
A friend pointed out to me that these people weren't killed in the crash. They were dead beforehand.
What?
Murder.
Beam prints on the wrench. But what is the wrench for? This page torn from a mission log is a single phrase scrawled across it. I turn my back on you, Mother. My solo voice of truth will dampen the cacophony of fools. Aaron. I better talk this over with the gals.
Hello, good looking.
Jeez, Marjorie, laying on a little thick, aren't we? It reads like a meditation scrawled on a page from someone's personal logbook. Are you familiar with the Soundless? I've heard of them. They're usually peaceful. Do you think this Sylvari is one of them? Perhaps. The Soundless turned away from the Pale Tree's protection, didn't they? I remember hearing something about their rejecting their own society. You know, I really appreciate how in the newer seasons, none of this Golden Path dialogue is delivered via text. It's all voiced. True, but unlike the Nightmare Court, they're not inherently evil. So we're looking for a Soundless Sylvari who no longer enjoys the protection of the Pale Tree, and who is most likely male, judging from the name.
Sylvari is soundless.
Jordy, you sound downright excited.
Plot thickens, my dear. Of course I'm excited.
Oh boy. We're all excited. Look at this, sky.
Here we go.
Get those twisters. You got this. This wood was blast scorched in an explosion rather than slow burned. Blast scorch versus slow burn. Sounds like names of what was that show from the Oddies where they had robots fighting each other? Like battling each other in an arena? Battle bots or something? Blast Scorch versus Slow Burn. Sounds like a matchup in that.
You should know I'm not all smiles.
Okay, if that's how you want to play it.
This Zephyrite's armed and armored. It's part of some elite guard. Their blast powder and scorching on her body. Leave.
Why does it have to be another Solari?
I don't know, but his actions are not random. He was after something or someone specific.
The Master of Peace? Is he on the run? Is the assassin after him?
I think so, yes. We have to find him before the assassin does. Do you think we can track them?
Did I miss a clue? A raging clue? Search the plateau for clues, 2 of 3. Got the note over there, got the scorch blast over here. The dead guard over here. What have I missed? It's dry talk time.
Weird. Some of this wreckage isn't fresh. These burn marks are old. It's as if they'd been attacked before the crash.
You're my lucky charm.
Yikes. I doubt the Master of Peace knows this area any better than we do. If you were him and being pursued, where would you go? I'd head for the closest town. That makes sense. Okay, then let's head to that town there too. I'll go. You stay here and tie up the investigation. Sure, boss. You don't mind going by yourself? I'll take Roxbram and Timey, the heavyweights. Okay, we'll meet you there when we get done here.
Yes, dear?
I was hoping we'd have a break from the death and destruction once Scarlet was gone.
Unfortunately, I believe Scarlet was just the tip of a very large, very deep iceberg.
So much suggestive language. Love it. What did we get? Ooh, more silky sand. Nice. Search a nearby town. All right. I think the later episodes in this season are kind of cool. I remember like the one where you come across this like buried city or something beneath Silver Waste. I thought that was very cool. And you fight the leafy dragon lieutenant dude. You know, I find that one of the things I'm most noting about this map is the scale of the design feels so different, even compared to like Heart of Thorns Season 3. I'm not really sure how to put my thumb down on it. Something feels quite different, though. Search the nearby town for clues. What clues want me to find? Oh, here. The merchant has a single stab wound in his chest that looks like one of the Zephyrite found at the crash site. Search the mine to try and find the Master of Peace before his saboteur or pursuer does. Listen, I don't want any trouble. I saw what happened to that merchant. You're talking about the dead merchant we found in town, right? Yeah, I was there when he sold supplies to one of those Zephyrites. Not an hour later, he turns up dead. Killed just for crossing paths with that man. We're trying to find the Zephyrite before the merchant killer can catch up with him. He was in a hurry to get himself out of town. It looked like the Zephyrite was heading west, out towards Spurbend Canyon. It sounds like he was fleeing into that canyon. Thank you. Yep, I agree. That's what it sounds like. Cool. All right. Look for clues near Spurbend Canyon. As we approach the battlegrounds, we stop conversing about anything non-essential to our survival. We're too exhausted to do anything but plod onward. It's as if the wind, sun, and weather were conspiring to slow our progress. The words have mostly faded, but angrily scrawled in the margins the unique handwriting in the single word, him. This newer handwriting matches the saboteurs. You know, I think the thing about like an investigation plot that you really need to make it interesting is you have to care about the people that it's affecting, you know? You've got to care about the outcome of the supposed victim. And maybe this is a season 1 thing I just missed. I don't know. But I do not give a crap about this guy. I don't know why I should. An air of solemnity rises from the sand and waves like the shimmer of heat, making it difficult to breathe. This is where Destiny's Edge confronted the crystal dragon and where our protector died defending us from her elder kin. I can imagine I can see the crystalline remains of her corpse from here. Here, as in right here? Doesn't make much of a battleground. Maybe it fell. Good old Noctly. Good old Noctly, looking for a fight. They forged an alliance with her and let her into their minds. They guarded her legacy for as long as they could, but sadly, their race was not to live forever. Destiny decided otherwise, and thus the torch was passed to my ancestors. We hid ourselves away for hundreds of years, helping her as we could, keeping her secrets. The ink is faded and the rest of the page. Continue to the next legible segment. Dragons consume magic, but they do not destroy it. They hold it within themselves like a sponge holds water. I only hope we're faster than the scavengers and power mongers who would use her body to advance. The Master of Peace may have unwittingly left a tail. Okay, so the Master of Peace pulled an egg from Glint. That's the idea, right?
You are good. Yes, you have learned.
Hey, Cossage! It was nice to see they added those snippets of the Trek of the Zephyride short story in those in-game journal entries. So were these not here before? If so, I agree with you. That is really cool. The in-game journal entries. So are you referring to... I think you're referring to what I was just looking at. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Okay, we sally forth then. Those I interacted with the green stars, right? Yeah, I like those too. They definitely help give me a little bit more about why I should care about this guy, like I was commenting on a moment ago. Speak with Timey. Nice timing. I was just about to have Scruffy punch us away through this vine gate. I won't stand in your way. They existed since the season launched, but the short story existed before the episode was released.
Come here.
Yeah, I believe you. I haven't touched this stuff since 2015.
He must be here somewhere. No.
There he is. Stop.
Where's the Master of Peace?
Go away. Let's go. Wait, go away. Go away. He's mine.
A break bar? That's gotta be new.
Unhappy times. Unhappy. Must find the master.
Is he talking to himself?
It sounds delusional. Problem is, we're stuck here until we can break down this monster.
I have an idea. If you can keep the vines from snagging Scruffy, I can probably bash through them.
Let's go. This fella is starting to put chills up my spine.
What dreadful business.
Glad that's it.
Watch my back while I smash these vines.
What they've added retroactively in this release is a reference to the Mordremoth's name in one of the texts you'll interact with later in this episode. Make the transition of Commander suddenly knowing Mordremoth's name less jarring. So a convenient retcon. That's cool. I imagine there are probably a fair number of people for whom this is their first time experiencing this story. You think it's true? I never really thought about that until now.
That's how you
There he
explain
is.
it.
Somewhere.
Yes. You're right. Getting
It's too
close.
large. I can't get us across from here.
Have no fear. The auction house is over and still.
But I'm inclined to
Someone
believe
crying?
Fox.
Could conjure up a bone bridge. You can cross the whole distance. Won't last forever.
Who's crying?
Might last long enough for one of you to get across.
I'll go. Once I'm on the other side, I can leave a portal between here and
Did he
there.
bang his toe or something?
Here we go.
All right.
Not right. Perhaps.
We can't let him get away again.
Hey, stop what you're doing right this minute.
Not on your life. Perhaps on your death. I will continue and I will be victorious. Get off me!
Hey, perhaps this will help.
That was cool.
Farther away.
Perhaps this will help.
You waste my time.
Hey, perhaps this will help.
Come here.
That didn't work.
Aaron. What? Huh? You're here. Aaron, you have broken your Zephyrite vow. Trivial vows. Trivial people. I've seen the bigger picture. You are in my way. You've lost your mind to your true heart. I'm sorry. You will not prevail. Get off me.
How do I get back up? Did I not pick that up? Oops. All right. I need the zoomy thing, right? Can I get over to him? Oh, that'd be too cool. What's also pretty interesting about this episode's story retroactively is that in the currently inaccessible Season 2 prologue, the Zephyrites implied they visited camp before heading for Crystal Desert. And Maguma and the ship was then sabotaged as shown in this episode. I think I remember reading about that. Or maybe hearing about it in an old Wooden Potatoes video or something. Big Cantha move. No, no, oh! I have my axe on. Rip. Fighting this guy is a little annoying. He doesn't quite obey the combat mechanics that most kind of combat logic that modern Guild Wars 2 uses. It has some weird custom stuff in here. It's a little unintuitive. I just gotta wait this out. Got him. Goodbye, Groot.
What dreadful business.
So, Kostage, have you gone through all the repeat content already? The sense I'm getting from the achievement is all I have to do is replay through everything and then do some dry top. I thought it might be a bit more. But considering they're only doing each one for a week, I guess I can see why they wouldn't add too much to it.
Did he want revenge on you for something?
No. He wanted me to give him power.
I've seen a few more return achievements from dry top.
I refused. He could not let it go.
Will you come back now? We can escort you.
No. My journey has only just begun. You will tell my
And
people
what are we supposed to know about this Master of Peace guy before this starts?
Yeah, sure, we'll tell them. Won't they ask where you're going?
No. Those who don't know my destination know enough not to ask. Be well. I'm glad our paths crossed today.
Marjorie, we should check his body. I want to know everything there is to know about him. He came through prosperity. Maybe some of us should go back there, see who else saw him. Great idea. You never know. We still don't know why he was so intent on killing the Master of Peace. I have to confess, his insane ramblings reminded me uncomfortably of Scarlet. Who? That's what I should say. Who? Was he an ally? It's possible, though not certain. Got a bad feeling. I was deeply unnerved by him. All I could think about was Scarlet and Lion's Arch. What if Scarlet was the tip of the iceberg? There it is. Masterpiece was introduced in Season 1. He arranged the original Bazaar of the Four Winds event where Ellen Keel and... Oh, okay. I didn't realize he organized that event. Where Ellen Keel and Evan Nashblade competed for vacant position of captain in the Captain's Council. The one who won trade deal with Zephyrites would get the position. Llama hair and a few bits of straw stuck to Aaron's clothes, as if he slept in a barn or an animal pen. Prosperity has some farm animals. A slip of paper sticking out of his pocket. Let's grab it. It's torn. The lettering is frantic and partly legible. Read on. The left half of the paper is missing, but the remaining piece says, "Leader will die. The rest will fall in line. We will not fail." Unreadable is the rest. Leave. Oh, some lockpicks. That's nice. Okay. Talk to the residents of the nearby town. I guess I better pick some herbs when I see them, huh? Nice foreshadowing in that message. I have a fond place in my heart for Dry Top. One of the first communities my wife and I joined when we were playing back in 2015 and 16 was Sand, the guild that runs regular Dry Top minutes. More of a social group, but really cool one. I'm all ruined. All ruined. What happened here? Giant vines and hostile plantings tore this place apart. They killed most of my regulars. I am sorry that happened to you. Sorry to bother you with this, but have you seen a strange Sylvari around here? Sure, but she was gone long before all this happened. She was a creepy one, though. Rolled into town with a huge load of crates and bought a place to hole up in. She? I'm looking for a male. In that case, I haven't seen him. This other one, though, she kept to herself and we let her be. You should have seen her, with those crazy red hair stalks growing out of her head. Really? Who'd know more? Ask around, if anyone's left to ask. Maybe somewhere in town actually tried talking to her. When she was there, still a town there, I mean. Thank you for the information. I love how dry my responses are. Like I'm a computer. I'm data. Thank you for the information. You should see Drewbert's corpse in front of that inn. He was already a jerk back then, scamming players of gold. Oh yeah, there he is. It's kind of creepy. Honestly. Does this elixir do? Immune to conditions and damage. That's cool.
Hey.
Gigor. Oh, God. Look what they did to him. That could have been me. What are all those things? We're trying to figure that out. You know of a female Sylvari who came here? I remember her. She came round asking for rumors about herself. She said something about the mine and some magical underground river or something. She was looking for it? I told her if we hit an underground river, we'd abandon the mine. On account of how they tend to flood everything without notice and miners drown. That didn't discourage her. Did she find it? The underground river? No idea. All I know is she was looking for something. She had excavation equipment in her crates. Maybe she found it and it carried her away. I don't know. Thank you. There's even a strangled NPC with a beard near the town center. Looks like Josh Foreman. Here? Is this him? Near the town center, you said. This is the guy? that you, Josh? You're right, with the goatee. Oh no, Josh! Poor guy. It is a fun little Easter egg. I'm really glad you said something. I had no idea that was supposed to be an homage to Josh. I guess he must have been the environmental designer here. Or at least a friend of his. Josh. Alright, Dabney, what do we got? You got that look in your eye. What do you need? I need info on a Sylvari who lived here. I wouldn't say she lived here, just came and went. Moved equipment through here. She'd go into a room and wouldn't come out for days, sometimes weeks. I have no idea what Dabney needs to sound like. Do you know who she was? Some engineer with obsession all over her. Far as I know, she never said more than 3 words to anyone, only then if she needed food or supplies. What was she doing here? No idea. There are others around who knew more than her than I do. I keep my distance. Alright, who else? Who's this? Anhinga. I came out of nowhere. I'm fine. I'm assessing the situation. Oh, what do you need? I just want directions to that mysterious Sylvari's room. Ha! You thinking of breaking in, looting her place? Not recommended. That one took personal security to a whole new level. Do you know who she was? Not the friendly type, despite those perky red pigtail flowers on her head. None of us figured she'd anything worth the risk. We want to take a look. Where is it? Right over there. Remember, I warned you. I've killed a few gods and dragons, so I think I'll be fine. Isn't it weird that all these people here treat me like I haven't killed Zaitan?
Good to see you.
I guess it's because they're supposed to be isolated, right? That's the conceit. I know what you're thinking. Oh, so much text dialogue. I know what you're thinking because I'm thinking it too. This so scary Sylvari was Scarlet. Exactly, but are we sure? Who else could it be? It all adds up. So what do you want to do about it? The door's got to be trapped. We proceed with caution. Bram, what are we waiting for? We're all sure it's Scarlet who was in here. Did you hear that char by the well? I heard, but we have to be careful. We could be trapped. You stand back. I'll break it down. No, Bram, not so fast. What does Rox say? She thinks, and I agree, that we need to get in there safely. Seriously, we don't have a key. I say bust it down. I'll have Scruffy do it. If you don't, it's got to be in one of her layers. So we're all in agreement. Stay in your golem. Door may be trapped.
Stay by me, Timey.
The crackle of magic creates a steady hum around this door. It's locked and the threat is clear. It's a remote place, so they haven't learned about Commander yet. Okay. Alright. I guess I'm good with that. Do.
All clear.
What?
She's like a little bug.
Scruffy, come, stand guard. Come on, Bram, get in here.
Scruffy looking a little scruffy. Wait for your friends to
Looks like the
regroup.
villagers were right. Scarlet was here.
The dust in here is thick. And these plants are all but dead. She definitely hasn't been here in a long time. Look! This is a historical find!
Careful now. You'll pop a gasket.
She hasn't been here in a very long time. This... Oh, and that! Great Clark!
Language.
Sorry, I didn't know you spoke Atten.
What is this?
What do you say we break open some of these crates? One good whack with my mace and...
No! Be careful. You could destroy something extremely valuable.
We should probably report this find to somebody. Ellen Keel, perhaps?
No, are you crazy? You can't tell anybody. They'd come and take it all away. I need time.
What do you need time for? You don't need to be digging in this old junk.
It is not junk.
Scarlet's dead. Let's let sleeping dragons lie.
I
Glad
found
that's
something
over.
interesting over here. Come and see.
At least now we know where she got the inspiration for
Look at
that
this book.
blurred hairdo.
The Nature of Dragons by Ogden Stonehealer. Hey, my boy. Or should I say the Dragon of Nature? Yes, dragons have long been thought to be as much of a part of Tyria as the sun, moon, land, and seas. No one, not even the dwarves, know how long they've been here. The Jotun and the Norn have lingering stories passed down through the generations about the last rise of the dragons. Most scholars give these tales little credit, unfortunately, as so much time has passed. It was over 10,000 years ago that the dragons last returned to their slumber. The very existence of these tales, however, indicates that the dragons have awakened at least twice in history. The word Mordramoth is heavily scratched into the margins. The Morty reference. Okay. Ancient documents found now in the Durman Priory's collection reveal accounts passed down by other races, such as the powerful seers and even the human gods themselves. You were right. Talk to Kaz. Isn't this fascinating? We hear dragon stories all our lives, but they're usually fairy tales or stories intended to keep young children from misbehaving. I never thought of them as part of nature. Well, they are ancient elder dragons, after all. If this is any indication, Scarlet's research into the dragons started early. I wonder what it was that attracted her to studying them. Their power, perhaps, or it seems to be a theme with her. You're probably right, but she wanted knowledge, too. Answers to life's biggest questions. She seemed to have recognized early on that dragons were part of something more. Something universal.
She must have been young when she was here. It looks like she was still a student.
I will have a more distinct conclusion later, but my preliminary assessment is that, yes, we're seeing remnants of her early years.
Look at this. How long ago would you say Scarlet was here? It looks like she was already studying ley lines.
Not surprising.
Oh, this is the
She
the
was
machine,
well ahead
right?
of her peers. We Asura have been studying them for decades.
But you didn't know much about them.
They are elusive.
Is this what I think it is? It looks like ley lines. What do you think?
Look at this drawing. Tell me what you think. Okay. This hand-drawn image is more symbolic than literal. It shows the world as a machine with various moving parts. The pale tree sits at its heart. Pale tree, huh? Oh. Though crude, it's strangely beautiful. Don't you agree? Think Scarlet made it? Maybe. It looks like it represents Tyria. Tyria, if you're a Sylvari. Pale tree at the center. Didn't I hear Scarlet strangled the pale tree in some visions she had? She definitely had a love-hate relationship with the pale tree.
Do you think she was evil back then?
She was misunderstood.
She had to have always been evil. You don't suddenly turn evil overnight.
What about the branded? They did. They got corrupted.
Good point.
True. Timey dropping knowledge.
Hey, watch it with that tail.
That's a neat little touch. The Joy comment references Scarlet's backstory in a short story called What Scarlet Saw.
Ow! Do you mind?
Inside voice, please, Tiny.
Timmy, you sound like a harpy.
Yeah, but did you see?
I see.
You're not even looking.
Image foreshadows the all. Do you see it? The steam minotaur. I see it, yes. The steam creature may have been her prototype. It has flaws. What do you mean, flaws? Oh, I couldn't possibly explain it in terms you would understand. You'll have to trust me on it. If you say so.
No one's ever going to be able to decipher Scarlet's chicken scratches.
No one but Timmy.
Sir and googly mook anyway. These symbols and things make me nervous.
Those are alchemagical symbols.
What are you looking at,
I'm
Rox?
not exactly sure what they mean either, but I'll figure it out with time.
Engineers in Asura get unique dialogue when interacting with the steam minotaur head. Always like those professions specifically. I love that stuff too. The little RPG touches like that, those are great. Talk to Rox. This looks like it was her diary. Take a look and tell me what you think. Dear Diary, writing longhand for the birds. I've discovered a device of Asuran origin that will allow me to record my journal from this point forward. Do not think that I am ungrateful to you, but I must continue to evolve at every moment. The future awaits us all, and I plan to be amazing when it comes. This will be my last entry as an ink-splattering student. Starting tomorrow, I am a researcher, an engineer, and a visionary. I confess to a mixture of fear and excitement. I believe I found one of these mythical ley lines, and if I can study it well, my understanding of Tyrius and her workings will increase in leaps and bounds. Who knows what the future will hold? I've never been very magically minded. Both Omad and Scarlet were crazy. Think you can see the whole of the world in one moment. That's ridiculous. Perhaps it's true. The mind is powerful. Yeah, and some people don't use theirs enough. Wishful thinking won't get you to the trough. Wishful thinking won't get you to the trough.
I think it's time to go.
Some good old Roxian
More
wisdom.
important things to do.
You do, maybe, but I don't. This is the biggest day of my life. Look at all this Scarlet paraphernalia.
I agree with Bram.
You would. Look, you guys can go, but I'm not leaving. I need to document all this. I can use this to write the thesis that will make me famous.
I don't know.
She'll be okay. She's in a village. She's got a golem.
I guess it'll be okay. We'll be back for you later, Squeak. If you run into any trouble, find a Zephyrite. They can be trusted.
I will. Now stop worrying and let me get to work.
Let's get out of here, Bram. Between the dust and the weirdness, I'm done.
You be careful, kid. We'll be back later.
Howside, is that short story you referenced in the game somewhere, or is it outside the game? The What Scarlet Saw.
Let's go.
Be sure to stick around a while longer to witness extra
We'll
dialogue.
be back soon.
Okay. Dear Diary, writing longhand. Wait, I've already read this. Hang on a second. There's mention here of a miner who found the ley line hub that Scarlet was looking for. I wonder if she's still here. Maybe you could go see. She's a Norn named Tosca. And what are you going to do? I'm staying here. Do you realize the historical significance of this find? Not to mention the salvage rights. I'll be writing papers, treatises, and dissertations on this until I'm 80. I don't see the thrill. Well, no, of course you wouldn't, being you. But for an Asura, this is the find of a lifetime. I was fated to be the one who discovered it. Fated, huh? Yes, I knew from the first moment I heard about her that Scarlet's fate and mine were intertwined. And now I shall be her biographer. I only wish I'd have a chance to speak with her. What do you think she was doing out here? This is interesting. This is interesting, right? Given what we know about Timey in the future and how, like, she's the one who figures out how to put the dragons back to sleep, and she's the one who figured out how to make Jormag and Primordus confront each other, and something interesting about that. My developing belief is that she found a ley line hub somewhere in this area. All the evidence points to it. I'm quite sure she was performing research at it and on it. It's so exciting. I hope we find it.
Scruffy, I need my supplies.
The short story is recorded in the Guild Wars 2 wiki.
Oh, look!
Hey! Kara.
Hollow magic is amazing. I'll use it to record my life, my failures and my successes. Scholars of the future will study them. Are you out there, scholars?
I'm here, Scarlet. I'm here.
Is there more?
My black market dredge contacts continue to prove useful.
This is cool.
For a little gold, they sell me their scrap iron so I can build my steam minotaurs.
Can it be? My goodness.
I've landed a lab assistant position with OMAD, an intelligent but overly gentle Asura. I should be able to wrap him round my little finger. Today, I'm 16 cycles old, and to celebrate, I've been testing my first steam portal with steam minotaurs. The last batch actually made it in one piece.
That's how it works.
I noted the tiniest hint of intelligence in a steam brain today as it studied one of the portals. Fascinating.
Turing test, huh?
1 in 3 steam creatures is being destroyed by my portals. I must find a solution. I have not yet had the courage to travel through one of my portals myself. I need to strengthen the form resonator first.
Now, what's the deal with the steam portals? Do they come from, like, the steam creature dimension?
I may have created a new sentient being. My steam brains are mimicking my building techniques, designing their own version of the steam portal.
Scarlet, what happened to you?
It's thrilling. I finally moved beyond steam to aether, and I made my first leap through a portal.
This story retcons steam creatures as being Scarlet's creations. So that wasn't what they originally were?
Oh, interesting.
OMAD agrees that I'm ready for the mind-opening device. Tomorrow is the day. I saw it all. I saw the eternal alchemy. I killed OMAD, my mentor. I am no one's lab rat.
Scruffy, log entry.
The ley line hub is real. I found it, and I'm making preparations to study it. I've purchased a room in Prosperity with some of OMAD's gold. The steam brains have shown ingenuity. When threatened, they build steam minotaurs from whatever materials they can find.
Yes, I understand.
I've used a portal to send most of my steam creature prototypes into Lorna's Pass and Brisbane Wildlands. I no longer need them.
Can it be? My goodness.
Is that it?
Hollow magic is amazing.
Yeah, okay.
I'll use it to record my life, my failures and my successes.
Yeah, there's a creepy voice transition. I like it though.
Are you out there, scholars?
Huh.
I'm here, Scarlet. I'm here.
Is the What Scarlet Saw story, is it very long? Sausage? I kinda wanna go read it. Get immersed. But I'm gonna step away from my PC for a moment and refresh my drink.
That's how it works.
Be right back.
Scarlet, what happened to you? Oh, interesting. Scruffy, log entry. Yes, I understand. Can it be? My goodness. So that's how it works. Scarlet, what happened to you? Oh, interesting.
Okay, I'm back. We never meet any steam creatures in Brisbane, so that batch left somewhere. Yeah, I remember the Lornar event.
Scruffy, log entry.
What Scarlet saw in Omad's machine foreshadowing the dragon connection. A bunch of objects you can interact with and read before leaving the instance if you're so inclined. Okay. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yes, I understand.
Let's see, I've already seen that. Your diary. Yep. There's this. Drawing. There's this note. There's a little scroll. An official certificate indicates that Kara has received honorary student status with the College of Dynamics. She can audit classes. Treatise on Mental Puppeteering of Golems by Snap. Some scholars theorize that magic flows through all things, that we swim in magic as fish swim in water, or as we ourselves live in the air. This magic is said to ebb and flow via currents called ley lines. Magic infuses everything in the world. Building blocks of reality are held together by magic. With the right connectors manipulating magical elements with the mind becomes possible. The mind is powerful and fragile quantity in the world equation and the eternal alchemy. It can move mountains or can be shattered like glass. My research has found a thread between magic and the mind. The two are linked. Where there's one, there must be the other. The igniter is belief. Do you believe in magic? This handwritten notebook bears a stamp of Omad, Scarlet's last mentor. The device works on the principle that the mind is connected to magic, and therefore, if properly opened, one should be able to grasp the entire eternal alchemy as a bird views the landscape far below. My Sylvari assistant will try it next. I am hopeful that she, with her innate connection to the Sylvari dream, will be a better subject than those who've gone before. I've rather grown fond of her and would hate to have her mind broken as well. I've tweaked and twiddled the settings as described below. I'm sure she'll be fine. Interesting. This sheet of paper says, what could it be, followed by a list of thoughts. 1. An ancient pool of magic trapped beneath the surface of the world, like those believed to infuse the waters of Bergen with healing properties. What's Bergen? A tear in the veil between here and the mists. Perhaps the abundance of magic there is leaking into our world. Ley lines? Could it be they truly do exist? If so, this is where my life truly begins. Right here, right now. Is this an object too? A set of blueprints appears to have been redrawn several times. A coffin-like device has tentacles coming off of it in all directions. Spooky. Bergen is in one of the Shiver Peaks maps.
So that's how it works.
Okay. Anything we've missed? I think we've seen everything at this point.
My black market dredge contacts continue to prove useful. For a little gold, they sell me their scrap iron so I can build my steam minotaurs.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Hey.
What Scarlet Saw by Scott McGough, August 23rd, 2013. I'm just looking it up on my other screen real quick. I'm gonna have a look at this. I'm not sure if I've ever read this before. Let's see. Buttons. What Scarlet Saw by Scott McGough. How long is it? Too bad. Let's read it. I'm curious. Professor Omad, headmaster emeritus of the College of Synergistics, anxiously twisted his ear as he waited for the Silvari woman to wake. She'd been thrashing violently in the isolation module for days now, crying out random syllables and howling in pain, ecstasy. Omad wasn't sure. Even a genius of his caliber could only guess what was happening inside that leafy green head. Omad clenched his fist, squeezing his ear until it brought tears to his eyes. The most promising student he ever instructed, conducting the most important experiment of his long and storied career, and all he could do was stand idle and fret. It's a nice short story, although some content of it was retconned in game later, like Scarlet graduating from all three colleges turned into her just taking courses at each, so she wouldn't come off as a Mary Sue. The woman gasped deeply and convulsed once more. Then she bolted upright, tearing clean through the restraints that bound her head and hands to the apparatus. Kira? Omad put a reassuring hand on the Silvari's shoulder, and then yelped. Her skin was hot to the touch, and the faint golden glow that surrounded her had shifted to vivid crimson. She slowly turned to face him, her eyes sharp and focused. Kira, can you hear me? What do you see? The Silvari woman brought her open hand up and spread her fingers wide. A thin vine crawled from her sleeve and began weaving between her splayed digits. Scarlet, she said. My name is Scarlet now. Scarlet Briar. Scarlet then, he snapped. Tell me, please, what did you see? Small red thorns sprang up from the vine between Scarlet's fingers. She smiled. Everything, she said. Kara emerged from the dream and stepped forward. savoring the wet grass of the grove beneath her feet. With her eyes still closed, she inhaled, taking in the fresh scent of living things all around her. "Welcome, sapling." The voice was kind, the tone gentle. "My name is Mender Saruman. You are safe here." "Shh, I'm thinking." Kara opened her eyes to a vibrant world of green and golds and earthy browns. Sunlight streamed then down through the canopy, nourishing the great trees and warming the ground-level vegetation. All around, creatures of every shape and size called to one another. Exploring, chasing, being chased, always in motion. Kara blinked, pleasantly overwhelmed by it all. The world was a fascinatingly complex system of smaller, interlocking systems that affected one another in an ever-changing dance. It was beyond fascinating. It was life itself, and now she was part of it. "Sapling," Saruman said, "I'm here to help you acclimate, to help you understand your place in this world and identify the purpose Pale Mother has given you." Her eyes remained fixed on the complex living dance of the forest. "I'll find my own place, thank you very much. And it's hardly my purpose if someone else gives it to me." Saruman's face soured, but he kept his soothing tone. "You've awakened with a wealth of confidence," he said, "but don't presume too much. We all make choices in life, but sometimes choices are made for us. Especially the children of the Pale Tree. It is the way of things." "The way of things?" Kira smiled. Saruman's world was so clearly defined for him. He would never challenge it, never test it, never seek to redefine it. She laughed merrily and said, "Thank you for attending my awakening, Mender. But where my life is concerned, I will be the one who chooses." After 8 years of voracious study in the Grove, Kira had learned all she cared to from her extended family. Her people were accomplished hands at many key disciplines, but they couldn't provide the depth of knowledge she craved. She wanted to construct systems as complex as the ones she saw in nature, to build to build machines as sublime as the living things she saw each and every day. Her greatest joy as a student came from testing those established systems to expose their flaws in aid of strengthening her own designs. She learned much from the master engineers among her people, but theirs were simple meals that could not sate her hunger. Kira decided to strike out into the world and find something that could. Her first stop was the smiths of Holbrook. If she wanted to make machines, she needed to understand metal. She impressed a grizzled old bear of a Norn named Bygarth with her interest in energy, and on his invitation, spent a long winter as his pupil, apprentice, and forge tender. When spring came, she announced her intentions to move on, having learned all she needed to know. Bygarth tried to dissuade her, eager to pass along the full slate of his smithing knowledge to such a unique and promising student. But she left with a wave and a breezy smile. She didn't need to be a master smith to forge the kinds of creations she envisioned. Next, she spent 2 years with a gladium named Azagai, late of the Iron Legion. An expert sniper and demolitionist, Azagai could tell by feel if a firearm was not assembled properly, and corrected a misaligned sight on a field gun just by listening to the sound of its thunder. When Kira had learned all the lonesome soldier's secrets and declared her intent to continue her studies elsewhere, the Char veteran cursed her for a feckless cub and threatened to gut her with a rusty blade. Kira gracefully avoided Azagai's wild swings and bid her a respectful farewell. Firearms and artillery were fun, but they were far too simple. Knowing there was only one place that could expand her knowledge as broadly as she required, she set out for Radasum. She found that convincing the 3 great colleges to let her in was the hardest part. Apart from their inherent bias against Nonasur, they did not relish a lowly Silvari with delusions of academic excellence, diluting or contaminating their student body's collective brain power. When Kira constructed a fully functional golemite on the fly from a small power crystal, a handful of raw ore, and a few select spells, the Arcane Council begrudgingly granted her provisional status as a dynamic student. She completed the course. She completed the dynamics coursework in under a year as the highest ranked student in her class. Chagrined, the counselors gave her the same opportunity in statics. When she achieved similar results in a similar time frame, they were intrigued enough to see if she could do the same with synergistics. Synergistics took quite a bit longer, however, as Kara finally found a field of study that was as boundless to her as interest. She immersed herself in synergistics, miasmic mix of mystical energy patterns and arcane probabilities, and is focused on chaos theory and mapping unpredictable connections, in the pursuit of hidden knowledge and secret mechanisms derived in equal parts from the contemplation of the ephemeral and the application of the practical. It was here, under Headmaster Omad, that Kira first began to grapple with the eternal alchemy. The deeper she delved into it, the more convinced she became that the pinnacle of Asuran thought was not a meta-magical engine, or a transcendent equation, but a key that allowed one to access the basic fabric of reality itself. Though backed 100% by Omad, Kira's thesis was not well received by the colleges or the Arcane Council. Unsupportable conjecture, they called it, unsubstantiated claims that border on academic heresy, or at very least, criminality. She rarely noticed. She had already begun to separate herself from the collegiate system in the hope of finding a research organization that would be more receptive to her ideas. She found it in the Inquest. Kira's time with the Inquest was brief, but extremely productive. They taught her things the other colleges wouldn't even discuss, and allowed field tests without those irritating and unnecessary safety precautions. Things ended suddenly and badly, however, when Kira and her crewmate Teo broke into the city's archives and tampered with several of the designs they found there. It was presented to her as a means to give the Inquest a competitive edge in the upcoming SNAF prize competitions, but Kira also left her stamp on a few unrelated projects she found. When caught, Teo teleported herself to safety and left Kira to face the consequences. The council stripped Kira of her academic credentials, and the peacemakers ejected her from Radasum. She laughed and left the city without any of her research notes or belongings, whistling as she went. She wandered for several months before settling in with the McCaudle Highlight. Oh boy, we're in danger. Let's defend ourselves real quick. Alright. Prosperity is cleared. Huzzah. We'll go sit in the bar here. Read the rest. Why are these people following? Oh, because they're probably talking to the same guy. Got it. Teo's a nice reference to the Asura player's nemesis from early Asura personal story. Oh, okay. Alright. She wandered for several months before settling in with the McCaudle Hylic, just outside Bradasum, which required her to disguise herself under a hooded cowl to avoid the attention of the peacemakers. Hylic alchemy was diverting, but she considered it a cul-de-sac on the road she had chosen. Mixing portions, poisons, and elixirs to produce specific effects was similar to building devices, but there was too much horticulture, not enough engineering for her tastes. She wanted to spend her life harvesting pollen or distilling extracts from exotic blooms. She would never have left the grove. Fortunately, proximity to Radasum made it possible for Omad to track her down. Her mentor offered the chance to explore the eternal alchemy again. Kira agreed and left the Mikado village without a word of explanation. After months of painstaking preparation, Omad's experiment was ready. Kira would enter his isolation module, a vast array of mechanical devices wired to a coffin-like chamber. Once activated, she would be unfettered by her physical body and could delve into the metaphysical vortex of realities no one ever had. He warned her repeatedly about the danger to her life and her sanity. You have to survive, he told her. The module's one shortcoming is that it can't record what your mind experiences. If you don't come back or can articulate what you've learned, it will all be for naught. Noted. Kira's face was bright, her eyes wide and hungry. Let's get started. Inside Omad's machine, the universe stretched out before her, an endlessly vast star-flecked sea. She moved through it, struggling against its currents, floating effortlessly above them, or standing perfectly still, as strange lights and magical energies swirled around her. She saw Tyria as a life-size globe, fixed in place among cosmic storms and massive clouds of potentiality. She wondered if she could ever see herself in Omad's lab when Radasum rotated into view, but then impatiently went on, plunging deeper into the churning void. Stop, my child. Kira paused. She hadn't heard the pale tree's voice in years. Please, go no further. In seeking to comprehend the forces that shape us, you will unleash them. Society cannot withstand that. Kira felt an electric tingle, and she wondered if her body was smiling back at Omad's lab. Deliberately, and with great glee, Kira thought, "Shh, I'm thinking," and pressed on. She soon saw a vague glowing shape ahead. A tree, she thought. The pale tree. Its great off-white trunk connected to a broad network of branches and leaves to a root system below. Instead of nuts or berries beneath its leaves, there were sylvari. Thousands of her people hung from the tree's boughs like ripe fruit ready to fall. Their bodies did not move, but their eyes shifted and rolled, eagerly taking in their surroundings. Some dropped like autumn leaves, slowly drifting down to root level. There they stood, stretched, and then set out into the void, disappearing as they cleared the spreading canopy. Some never made it far, staggering, falling, and withering within the shade of the great tree. Disappointment soured Kira's fascination. Was this it, then? Were the lives of all Sylvari so easily encapsulated? Birth, travel, experience, death? All played out under the dictates and philosophies of this godlike entity that created them? She refused to accept that. Everything she learned said that no system, no matter how complex, can perpetuate itself indefinitely. Those that did not evolve inevitably failed. It was then Kira saw the thorn vine. It emerged from the roots at the base of the tree and began to climb, wrapping itself around the trunk and scoring the bark with its dusty red barbs. Green-black ichor oozed from those wounds, and the great tree shuddered. Then Kira was the vine, squeezing the great tree's trunk like a desperate lover. The tree struggled against her. She was meant to be part of it, to participate in its grand purpose. Instead, she was no more than an irritant. Provocation. Now do you see? The pale tree's voice was faint and distant, but it snapped Kira back to viewing the tree from a distance. If you are not one with what you were born to be, you are lost. You are dangerous. Sheer joy surged through Kira. Dangerous, you say? Her thoughts boomed aloud as thunder across the void. So be it. With the pale tree's desperate words and her own raucous laughter echoing across the void, Kira plunged through the vision of the great tree and beyond.
Where's the meat?
Motionless, Omad stared wide-eyed at his former student. It worked, Scarlet said. I suppose I should thank you for that, although I bet I would have figured it out on my own eventually. Still, no reason to begrudge a genius's due, right? Omad didn't reply. Scarlet giggled as she raised her hand to her face and watched the red thorn vine chase itself between her fingers. So much makes sense now. The pale tree, the nightmare court, cave, Fowlin. It's all part of a grand design. But I see the flaws in that design. My people won't have to take what we're given or be what we're born to be. No people do. We can change the rules. Well, I can. And I'm going to. Omad said nothing. With dusty red thorn vines wrapped tightly around his throat, wrists, and ankles, he could not. He hung silent and still, suspended from all four walls and the ceiling on a tangled dead fall of thorns, as blood dripped and pooled below him. I have learned so much, Scarlet continued. Now I have to put that knowledge to use. An insurmountable challenge is rising, and my people have been called to meet it. We are compelled to be by our Creator to do so. But I reject that call. I reject the notion that I must choose between the dream or be lost to the nightmare.
Yes.
The forces that push us this way or that can be redirected. They can be set against one another, to the detriment of both. And now I know how.
Where's the meat?
Scarlet gestured and the thorns around Omad tightened. They raised his lifeless body high, then turned it to greet whoever entered the room next. Scarlet's voice rose as she went on. I have a great deal of work ahead of me. I don't know what the world will be when I'm through, but I will very much enjoy finding out. Empires will fall, continents will burn, and when the conflagration is over, I'll be there to put my stamp on whatever new world this one becomes. Manic glee flushed in her eyes, and she said, Goodbye, old friend. All good students should take up their master's mantle and share the wisdom they've attained, and I am a very, very good student. Laughing, full of renewed purpose, Scarlet blew Omad's body a kiss and danced lightly out into the cool evening air. Yeah, okay. I've never read that before. I get why people call her a Mary Sue, though. I'm not really sure her motivations make much sense. Or her gifts. At least the way they're portrayed there. But she's painted with the same resolution as a lot of these vanilla characters, it seems. You know, it's interesting seeing these characters after talking to Tom last night. Hearing his perspective on how characters have been done in the game for the last couple of years compared to previous. Okay. Tosca the Miner. Alright. The forces that push us this way or that can be redirected. They can be set against one another to the detriment of both, and now I know how. She suggests here that she'll push Morty and the Pale Tree against one another, freeing the Sylvari from both. It's an interesting idea. What do you think of that, Costage?
Spirits guide you.
Lost? Looking for a miner named Tosca. You found her. That's what that strange Sylvari female called the pocket of magical energy. I tapped when I was digging in the waste beyond town. You don't want to go anywhere near that. Maybe, but I'd like to know her story. I was mining copper and broke through into an inner chamber in the rock. Suddenly a bright light blinded us all. We didn't go any deeper, too dangerous, but changed the direction of our digging. You told the Sylvari woman about this? Yeah, and you should have seen her light up. It was as if I was Tix and Tox delivering a special toy just for her. Where was this? West of town.
You look tough.
It's written cleverly because the creator she refers to could mean the Pale Tree or Mordramoth. This was written before we learned about Mordramoth being the one behind Scarlet's actions. Also fun in retrospect is that the speech accidentally foreshadows later Guild Wars 2 plots. Empires will fall, Joko and Bangar's empires. Maybe Canthan Empire too. Continents will burn, Primordus, Balthasar's rampage, and Tyria and Alona. I suppose. I mean, those are fairly broad brushes, though. Like, empires fall, continents burn. That could mean any organized force or geographical center of population, right? But you're right. You're right. It's interesting. It sounds like that was written before they knew what they wanted to do with the dragon story for Mordramoth, but
They're new.
it sounds like they had the idea of pitting large forces against each other pretty early. It's just fun how well it fits, even though they wouldn't have planned the banger. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I think I agree with that. Okay. Join my friends to check in on Timey. Okay. So wait, where am I going first? The machine. Yeah, I'm doing this out of order. Restart. There it is. Check your mail.
I can't believe so many survived that crash.
We know from a RPG interview that they only began planning Path of Fire in Season 3 after Heart of Thorns had shipped. So they didn't know that Ritlock would meet the guy he did in the Mists. Nor did they initially have the God versus Dragon plot in Alona, as other pitches involved Dragons versus Dragon, which would later become Icebridge Saga. And Balthy wasn't even their first choice for God antagonist. Huh. I wonder who their first choice would have been. Dragon versus Dragon. I'm enjoying getting re-immersed back in all this stuff.
Timey? Timey, are you here? Timey?
I'm here. I'm okay. Scruffy protected me. Are you all okay?
Oh. Whew. Yeah, we're okay too.
Everything started to shake. I barely had time to get into Scruffy.
Is she okay, Bram?
Yeah, she's okay. She hid in her golem.
I didn't hide. I was collecting important data.
Uh-huh.
Did I hear you say Timey's okay?
I'm fine. Collie.
What's happening?
Yeah, she's fine, guys. In the same interview, Scott, the guy who wrote the Scarlet story, Scott McGough, said he wanted to explore a city under Lissa's illusion. And what it'd be like to live there. You wonder if the hints of Balthy not cursing Lissa, oh right, I remember those, might mean Lissa was intended as the original antagonist. Oh, interesting. Yeah, and Lissa was, like the god of, like, illusion and stuff. I feel like the whole world's falling off from under us. Let's go fight a dragon. You want to be the same? No, it won't.
Mordramoth?
Raises the stakes to a whole new level of awful, doesn't it?
Gods, we need a plan. What are we gonna do?
I think all these vines are related to Mordramoth. All these deaths? I'm quite certain. Why am I certain about this? Like, why is the commander certain? What are we going to do? Follow Scarlet. Scarlet believed she'd seen this bigger picture. It was a part of her delusion. I don't think bringing down the Zephyrite was part of Scarlet's plan, but both she and the Saboteur talked about the destruction of Tyria. I know. Aaron said that a Tyrian leader would die. This makes me think someone or something was pulling his strings. That scares me the most about him. We have no idea who he meant. It could be anyone. The biggest threat to Mordremoth is probably Traherne. I hate the thought that Queen Jenna could be in danger too. Other strange things were said too. Yeah, like it would be so pleased, and I've seen the bigger picture. It sounded so much like Scarlet. It was unnerving. I suspect we can still learn from Scarlet, even posthumously. Lissa also had great historical ties to Alona, viewing it as her favorite nation, if you recall. The reason why the sudden Morty reveal seems so jarring is that the original cut Season 1 ending would have allowed Scarlet to monologue without Bram interrupting her, and she would have name-dropped Morty there. I wonder why that was changed. For the record, I agree this is Mordremoth's doing. It all started with Scarlet. You need to understand her. You see her voice recorder, her books, her papers? I'm glad you're okay. What have you learned? Lots of things, like Scarlet started with the steam creatures, then graduated to ether and watchwork. She released a bunch of the steam creatures into the wild. Oh, and she killed Omad. Killed Omad? He was her last mentor. He experimented on her with his mind-widening device, and that's when she saw the eternal alchemy, or what she thought was it. She killed him for it? No, she killed him because once he realized his device worked, he started looking at her like she was a lab rat, not like an assistant or student. He was going to experiment more on her. I see. But surely Omad wouldn't have hurt her. Historically speaking, previous generations of Asura, including Omad's, viewed the Silvari as an anomaly to be studied. When the first Silvari arrived, many were victimized in the interest of arcane knowledge. Any new insights into that drawing on the wall? No reaction on that from the commander, huh? I do, but based on Scarlet's writings and her holographic recorder over there, I come up with a theory. I think that's the representation of her vision. Her vision? Her mentor Omad made a device open the mind. When she tried it, she had a vision. At the center is a symbol I've seen used to represent the pale tree. You think she drew that drawing after it? Yes, she claimed that she'd been the eternal alchemy during that vision. Symmetrical elements in the drawing and the pale tree at the center led me to the conclusion. Why the pale tree? In her vision, she saw the pale tree attacked by a thorn vine. She described it as doing terrible damage to the pale tree. Sounds awful. Bugger? Pleased her. Shears some thorny vines and then strangle Omad. See, this is one question I have. The growing the thorny vines. It's kind of weird. Like, what's the justification for her being able to suddenly control weird thorny vines? The parallel with the vines from her vision is not lost on me. What about the ley lines? Most interesting thing of all, the Scarlet theorized that our waypoint positioning coincides with the locations of the most powerful ley lines. Was she right? Likely, but not yet confirmed. I need to do more research. I need to better understand the elements that drew her to the conclusion. Fascinating.
So, were you able to figure out what Scarlet was doing here?
She was studying ley lines, but I don't...
Oh my! What's happening?
Hey, come look at this. There's a passage behind this bookshelf.
Hey!
Get out of my way! Let me see!
Settle down. Let the boss go in first.
Alright, but
The
hurry
boss.
Come on, Frostbite. Let's go.
There were data mine leaks. The ending, about the ending, which is why we know about it. It's unclear if those leaks affected them changing the ending. Originally, Jory was intended to die during the finale. The Vine is Morty, and the reason she became the Vine is because she joins the hive mind of Mordremoth as a Mordrum, taking her Silvari identity. So because she went from being a pale tree saved dragon minion, right? Because we know that all the Silvari were dragon minions, right? To being going back to going from mommy to daddy, kind of. It just sounded like she gained powers, not just allegiance. But then again, magic in Guild Wars 2. What do I know? Explore the tunnel. History of Dry Top by Nick Sanford. This is the guy from the Dolyak quests in Guild Wars 1, right? Now a barren landscape, this rounded basin may have held water many millennia ago. Sand now covers everything. blowing on the wind and eroding all rocks and inhabitants alike. Unknown sentient beings once built fragile hillside homes high on the cliff sides. Some structures still linger, but will fall victim to the blowing sand and hot sun. I think that's a reference to some desert dwellings here in the North America, I think. The area attracts outlaws on the run with something to hide, or those who are unwelcome among civilized folk for one reason or another. This makes the area dangerous to travelers such as me and Yakington. Migrating centaur packs come through here, it seems. There is evidence they once had a refuge here. A large tree trunk quite out of place could have been one of their sacred trees. Despite appearance, this waterless area is far from lifeless, and it serves as a doorway to the Maguma jungle, a region of uncontrollable growth, life, and often death. A lot of readables in these instances. The recent Guild Wars 1 and 2 art book gave us a hint that someone or something cleansed the pale tree of corruption as the sea, but we don't know who. My guess is the Forgotten performed the cleansing ritual on herds like they did on Glint. Yeah, that makes sense. On the open page of the book, Scarlet drew a route leading up out of her tunnel to a higher region of Dry Top. Went to the map, trace a winding, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. Yes, I know where we're going. We've done this before. Research notes. Torn from a book. Letter sent from home from soldiers in the Cornan Army. The Cornan Army have given us great insight into their lives. In the 11th century AE, their leader Varish Asa inspired great loyalty. In one particular speech, Asa praised her military and encouraged them to use their persuasive abilities to build the power of Corner from the inside. She said, if properly convinced, you can get whole groups of lesser creatures to work towards your goals without them realizing they're not working for themselves. Also cites the alliance between centaurs and Cornan craftspeople as an example. Together, they produced better armor and weapons. They provided for all Cornan people's day-to-day needs. You love the idea that Scarlet was inspired by the Nightfall villain Varish Asa to build matriarchal armies, or multiracial armies. Season 2 went crazy with all the lore books and interactables. Later S2 instances, you get extra lore as Char and humans, such as how only Char players get to know the identity of the Char who harasses rocks. Oh, yeah. Isn't the library under Derman Priory a season 2 instance? There's a ton of readables in that. What'd you find? Left map. Ley lines. Let's go. Scarlet's secret room. Hidden Arcana. Do-do-do. Enter Raptor Pro. Should I do this event while I'm here? Understanding that Scarlet initially began studying Mordremoth and realized his connection to Sylvari, then wanted to get rid of both him and the Pale Tree, but Morty began manipulating him and planting ideas in her mind, eventually winning the mental struggle, so Scarlet's goal shifted from creating a new world to enabling Morty to wake up. And what's particularly cool about the A-Net reminding people of these Season 1 and 2 plot points via the return chapters, we still don't know why Scarlet sent Mai Trin and the Ether Blades to the Mists, so that they never returned to help her in Lion's Arch. Right! And the Aether Blades are confirmed to appear in End of Dragons, so we may finally learn Scarlet's plan. That's kind of cool. I wouldn't mind them singeing some of that stuff up. Are you optimistic about End of Dragons, Koswitch? Are you excited about it? By the way, your name is familiar. Should I know you from somewhere or something? Comment on my videos. Ah, yes, of course. I'm sure that's why I recognize your name. So it's good to have someone who knows the lore really well. I do not. You're optimistic about End of Dragons, although the ending of Champions and Icebreed Saga kind of left me worried about how easily they'd be ending long-standing plot lines. Yeah. Yeah, man. I think it's a painful moment for everyone. And you're right to point out, it's not just how much it underserved the moment, but the fact that they were willing to do that, you know. You hope that they explain one day why they couldn't put the saga plot on hold after episode 4 when Primordus hadn't yet woken up. Imagine Jormag being in the midst of Villa's army while he was at Cantha. We get occasional Jormag ally commentary on Canthan events in DC Dragon. Yeah. Well, hopefully what it means is that they have a post-Dragon story in mind, you know? That's my hope. I think that they've shown that they can do non-dragon villains pretty well. Like thinking about like Caudicus, thinking about like Balthazar, who we originally thought was what's his face that we saw, and Joko, of course. It would have been interesting if we'd found 3 other replacements by the time we returned to Jormag and Primordus. These 2 dragons now faced a world that has moved on without them. It led to a nice dragon existential crisis. 3 other replacements by the time we returned to Jormag and Primordus. So like 3 other Orines, that kind of idea?
This place is amazing.
And brimming with bad guys. The Inquest are here.
We know how to deal with Inquest. Let's clear this place out.
Wait, Rox! Let's be smart. Scarlet will have left security devices in place. They're currently offline, But if I can reactivate them, we can use them to our advantage.
Aw, can't we just get rid of them the good old-fashioned way?
You could, but they'd be back before you know it. Scarlet's security can protect this area from future attacks. Clear the way to the first console for me.
What am I doing here again?
Woo! Let's rumble!
Until Champions proved otherwise, the whole idea and whole point of Path of Fire was so we couldn't kill any more dragons without replacements, and our reign could take only one dragon to replace them all. We need more replacements to balance the system. That's why we had to antagonize Balthazar, because killing... Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, and... There's that moment in Champions where Timey's like, ley lines, bring them together. Let's kill them. It's fine. And Commander's just like, alright if you say so. It kind of cheapens a lot of those old decisions a little bit, is the impression that I get. I wonder if you think it's a fair assessment. Possible Zaitan and Mordremoth have been replaced off-screen since Path of Fire. Oh, I'm gonna die. I better pay attention. The reasons the magic flows south is that Bubbles and the two potential replacements are all in Cantha somehow. I feel a bit of a cop-out, yeah. No, I think that we've abandoned the idea that we need a one-for-one replacement, right? That's the sense that I've gotten. And somehow Aurene is just the answer to all problems.
You've got them all. Well, the ones we can see at least. There's another console ahead. We'll have to activate it as well. Let's go.
You're enjoying yourself, aren't you, Ty?
Using Scarlet's brilliant devices, even her earliest designs to neutralize Inquest? How could I not have fun?
Problem is that this knowledge of needing multiple entities with magnetic push-pull motion comes from Apostate, which got his info from Abaddon himself. So it's weird if Abaddon, the god of wisdom who studied Elder Dragons, you'd be wrong about it all along. Yeah.
Okay, if that's how you want to play it.
Apostate who has info from Abaddon. Is that all from Nightfall? I love that combo. Arcing Slice while counter Arcing Slice.
natural. But as far as I can tell, there's one more console up ahead.
Apostate is the heretic good guy Marganite who revealed that Abaddon is not the original god of wisdom, and he had a predecessor, which foreshadows that Abaddon himself could be replaced with Cormyr. Right. I remember when my wife and I got here, we thought this whole area was so cool. Secure the console. Okay.
Last one, and done. This will activate Scarlet's holographic defenses. Once they're fired up, they'll kill everything in here.
You do realize we fall in the category.
What's interesting is that the huge spinning ley line thing near the roof originally had little magic running through it, but over the course of several updates, the ley line got bigger and bigger.
It might take a bit, though.
Oh, that's cool. I like those little touches.
Lots of inquest.
Tiny, work as fast as you can. We'll buy you some time.
Okay, if that's how you want to play it.
What incredible business.
Glad that's it.
Banana.
Glad that's over.
Hold on. Activating the defenses.
You're absolutely sure this won't kill us?
Absolutely. I give it a solid 53% chance.
I beg your pardon? Maybe you shouldn't.
It's beautiful.
Man,
Whoa.
we're still alive. That's a plus.
Of course we're alive. I was joking about 53%. It was more like 78.
Wonderful. Looks like we're gonna be the only ones walking around in here for some time.
You did great, Tony.
I know.
What is this place?
It's a cave.
You know what I mean.
Well, everything points to it being a ley line hub, and before you ask, it's where multiple ley lines intersect. Scarlet thought it important enough to set up a lab here.
Plant Dragon's corruption has found its way in.
Yes, it's troubling, but it makes sense given how the dragons consume magic. They're undoubtedly attracted to ley lines, like spiders are attracted to flies caught in their webs.
That doesn't bode well for Waypoints.
Nope, I'm afraid not.
There has to be something we can do.
You wonder if we'll run into Inquest in Cantha since they had bases as far south as Alona. And Cantha used to have an oldish sewer gate below the ground.
How widespread?
Well, for example, the waypoints at Fort Concordia and at Fort Salma are behaving irregularly. If it's
Cantha
the
had a
dragon's
oldest
tendril,
surrogate deep below the ground?
then that's quite far afield.
Is that from Gilmore's
There are
one?
other waypoints being disturbed, but those two are the most egregious. It's interesting that they're both strongholds.
I'd say this requires some direct observation. I want to see what this is all about with my own 2 eyes.
Why don't we split up? Rox and I can take Concordia.
Oh, Eye of the North.
Head out to
Ah,
Fort Salma.
I have to go back and play through Eye of the North.
That's a great idea. I'd love to spend more time.
I wonder if I can
with them.
squeeze it in before
It's
July.
I don't care if
27.
you beg. I'm not going to either place. I have to stay here and continue my research. Nothing's changing my mind.
No begging here. Come on, Bram. Let's go.
Alright. Okay. Nightfall set up all sorts of plot points it could return to Gantha. Or in post-Dragon story. The point of Raza, the odd misentity who joined the hero's party. Abaddon's most hidden secret. I like all this stuff. It's like a wooden potatoes video waiting to happen. By the way, I hope WP's doing okay. Guy hasn't dropped a video in weeks, it seems like. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little worried about him. Family COVID. Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
What in Wolf's name is happening? These vines. The kid was right again.
She's wrong sometimes, too.
What'd you say?
I said we should get moving, now that we're all here. From the look of it, they could use a hand.
I'll take the lead.
Oh, no you don't. Not with that leg. You're still recuperating. Stay behind Frostbite. He's got a mean tail whip.
Ganging up on me isn't fair. I'm fine. Come on, let's get this over with.
I gotta close my office door. Be right back.
Let's move out. Let's move out.
Okay. We're back. Since this dialogue sets up some sort of animosity between Timmy and Rox, it continues the path of fire where Timmy openly questions if it's wise for Bran to spend time with Rox. What if the original plan for the subplots were... Huh. Huh. I'll have to listen for that.
Let's do it.
We're going to have to clean the whole place out. Yeah. Let's go!
Thanks for helping us out here. That attack caught us by surprise.
You had no warning?
Well, a few small vines popped up after the Priory caravan arrived, but We didn't pay those any mind. Until they grew.
Priory caravan? Was it carrying the vines? Seeds?
Not that they mentioned. They did have some extremely old artifacts with them.
I'd like to talk to the scholar in charge of the caravan.
They headed northwest with Lindsay to find the rest of the cavalcade. Some were separated from this lot.
What's your plan?
I'm taking this caravan along with everyone from Concordia to an Asuran lab northeast of here, for safety.
We can go along and provide additional security.
I want to find this Priory scholar and see where these vines came from. Why don't we split up? We can cover more ground that way.
I don't know about that. Let's discuss it more.
Sisterly jealousy or something deeper. Timmy and Bram? Maybe Timmy will have a crush on Bram or something? Oh god, I have to make a choice. Rocks worries too much. My limb is completely gone. I should help you find Lindsay. What do you think? You like my flare up? It's fine, I promise. Oh man. Let's go, Rocks.
Let's
I mean,
move out,
Bram.
shall we?
Whatever I
Raise the
just said.
northern gate.
See you on the other side, Rox.
Careful out there, Bram.
Nice interview with Tom. Thank
Alright,
you.
form up. Caravan in the middle.
You're halfway through and you guys covered a lot of
We can
topics,
handle
most
clearing
intriguing
the main
pieces Brand of
path.
Dragons.
Go.
True.
Find as many attack
Those
survivors
kind of
as you
stuff.
can.
The last half of that interview has a lot of Guild Wars stuff, by the way.
Hey, come on over here.
I was kind of surprised how Tom flatly stated that Bangar and Dominion and his Iceberg Saga were allegories for the Trump regime, right? Yeah. Wonder if Smoder was meant to be Biden. That's interesting. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, I think it was just kind of their attempt to tell like a story about nationalism. You know? Make Char great again. Oh boy, I should read this stuff. A magical locket, very powerful and coveted. We move from fort to fort on a regular schedule. Probably shouldn't even be telling you about it. But I'm me.
Let's go.
He'd heard the talks of Trump, but Novera King's commentary mentioned Bangar being a combination of Hitler, Patton, and President Snow from Hunger Games. Yeah. That makes sense. I didn't hear any of what Novera said about it. I really liked the whole Char arc. I thought it was really well done in Iceberg Saga. I guess I'm failing this achievement, whatever it is.
Finally, something not so whiny. Assist us at once.
Consider yourself honorary lab assistants. Now protect our lab.
The whole one Char stuff they had to censor from German translation was a riff off of Hitler's Mein Volk speech. Huh. I have to go back and listen to that now. They mentioned in Guild Chat that it was unclear if it was allowed to add that stuff in, but the writers managed to get their wish for English localization at least.
Let's go.
That's cool.
We got as many here as we could, though.
Yeah, I basically
I'm not
tuned out of
confident
Guild
we're safe
Chat
yet.
during the entire Iceberg Saga.
All through the hills.
I was
a
not
bad
plugged into the game at all for the last
We
couple of
should
years.
probably get over to Fort Selma.
Up until the
There are
last month or
defense there.
two.
Do you have this under control?
We're good. Thanks for your help. Safe journey.
It was quite clever how they masked the propaganda under the cool concert event, where you won't even realize the troubling undertone and lyrics in the audience. Kelch has some interesting commentary. Well, hopefully they'll give me an excuse to replay that stuff here in a few weeks, right? Discuss the situation with the rocks. Alright. What do you think, rocks? Rocks my socks. Think Tactician Art will be alright? Attacking everyone pretty hard. You two should stay behind and keep looking for survivors. I'll head for Fort Salma. Good, we've got this covered. How about we meet at Dry Top when we're done? I know Bram's worried about time. Maybe you keep forgetting she's just a kid. A kid was right about Concordia. And who's amazing. Amazing timing. Oh no. Did I miss the extra dialogue? About the Crichton Royal Locket. Is that the locket that's supposed to show, like, the next descendant of the throne or something? The heir. What's the nature of the commentary, do you recall?
Swarm them!
Look at this. So much platinum. We have a page in the wiki for Under Crichton Royal Locket. Basically, it's a magical locket. It's said to always have the image of the current heir to the throne of Crichton displayed inside it. It's quite beautiful, very powerful, and coveted. Demordra managed to leech some of its magic before he rescued Lindsay, and after the Priory takes it somewhere else for safekeeping, while its power is dimmed. It's supposed to play more of a part in the plot later, but was dropped. Interesting. So many big plot threads they set up. A lot of threads to pick up as time goes on, I feel like. You know, Timberline Falls was my OG, our favorite zone, aesthetically. I love the vibe of this zone. It's like alpine forest. You learn a bit more about the heir stuff later in Season 2, where it's teased that the heir to Crichton might also be tied to the prophesied heir of Ascalon, who's destined to cleanse the foe fire and liberate the Ascalonian ghosts, ending Adalbern's curse. Do you think we'll get a payoff for that in Guild Wars 2? I would sure like to. That would be a good post-Dragon story to tell. Another plot thread that hasn't been returned since Ritlock's attempted cleansing ritual. Yeah, that was in is it Season 3? I'm not sure if I'm remembering that. It's in this season. Alright. Okay, well we can go to Fort Salma. I think we're close to done here, right? Where's this telling me to go? It's weird. Once they mine factions nostalgia with Kantha, they only have Ascalonian nostalgia left to revisit. Adelburn out of the remaining Guild Wars 1 related points. Fire Ghost should become a major threat after being empowered by dispersed dragon magic. The gods too, right? The other 5 human gods. I guess we kind of know what's up with Cormyr, sort of. I was going back and watching some of the old guild chats that Tom Abernathy did before our interview. And I was surprised to hear him talk about, alongside, what's her name? I can't think of her name. One of the narrative designers. About how they almost cut the whole Cormyr's library section. If they intend to bring back the Utopia lore, they kind of semi-canonized in the Anniversary art book. Or about crazy stuff that might be more gods like Dwayne's father, the existence of god killers.
If you can go get them, I'll open the gate and let
That's
you all
definitely
in at once.
Debbie
Give you
Derryberry.
cover from the walls.
Definitely.
Hurry, they won't hold out much longer.
No, it was from a guild chat, I think. Let me look at my notes actually. I can tell you where I found it. I remember being surprised when I saw it. Debbie has trouble masking her voice. She's not a chameleon like Tara or Troy. Yeah. Oh shit. The hell? Okay. Yeah, it was in the Path of Fire guild chat. Guild chat 59. Tom was on and Connie Griffith initially opposed the scene for scope reasons. And Tom worked directly with Mike O'Brien on the Cormyr scene to get it done. Apparently that was a big Mike O'Brien initiative. But yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Hey, my sister and Casimir are holding the courtyard. Get in here if you want to join them.
I have a friend of mine who I'm trying to get to
Jory, backup's here.
to play through Path of Fire for the first time, so I have an excuse to go through it myself.
There seems to be no end to these attacks.
We should take the stragglers that make it past the Seraph. The creatures keep coming, both over and under the walls.
Good thinking. I'm determined to hold out until they stop.
Me too. A seraph told me they've got great obelisk shards here, from the Tower of Nightmares. They're too valuable to let fall into the wrong hands.
Get ready, everyone. Here comes another wave.
Sis, the eastern gate is getting hit hard. Can you get over there and reinforce it?
You betcha. We can use the northern wall to get there. Looks safer than trying to plow through the middle.
Temporal distortion.
Ooh, look at that quickness. Nice. Thanks, Kaz.
Power to keep the gate clear.
Lead on. We'll follow.
Who said mesmer magic was just pretty tricks?
Agreed. Lighten him up. It's where they record earlier lines for Cormier, one of which we heard in Season 4, Episode 1. Well, if they knew early on that they wanted that in, then I think that they had trouble implementing it for one reason or another. And I'm not sure what the holdup was. My impression is that Mike O'Brien's a guy who knew what he wanted. Secure the arrow cart on the eastern wall. Going outside? Ah, yes. How do I get up there?
My power is yours. Make it
Oh boy.
Here we go.
Am I not supposed to kill these things? No, I'm supposed to kill them.
I did it. The courtyard is secure for now.
Seems our luck is holding.
Hold on. Do you hear that? What is...
The line of the trailer made it clearer why the gods left Tyria, but the
That
final version
sounds
actually in
big.
game made it more
Oh, dear.
ambiguous.
It's massive. What's our strategy?
The bigger they are, the harder they fall. I'm guessing if we take out King Monstrosity, the grunts will give up.
Coordinate our efforts.
My power
Bring
is
it down.
yours.
I can
Make
make
it
my
count.
minions to explode on contact. The impact will putrefy its shielding, and that will give you an opportunity to strike.
What am I supposed to do?
Keep my minion alive, and it'll tear down that thing's shield.
Keep my minion alive?
Hit them with everything you've got. Those spores are lethal. I can cover them. Stay in my barriers when things start going crazy.
Damn it. We can't hurt it while it's shielded. Get my minions in.
Maintaining your barrier is straining my limits. Please be careful. I'll try to find some more.
Right, I gotta protect the bone fiends.
Please be careful. I'll try to... Who said mesmer magic is just pretty tricks?
Alright, here we go.
I'll cover you. Use it to...
Sending in another minion. Ensure that it makes contact.
I've got you. Get to safety under my barrier.
Here we go.
My power is yours. Make it count. I've got you. Get to safety under my barrier. What dreadful business.
Oh, hello. Nice. I'll bank this for the moment. I like this music. Always fun to hit a milestone. It is. I didn't think I was that close to 17K. Ba, 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 ba. It's okay. She's getting a chiropractic adjustment.
We're here, Jory.
I know.
Tell us what you need.
I'm okay. I just needed a minute. I'm sorry.
I understand. Completely.
I can't lose control here. If you're too sweet to me,
Poor
I'll
Belinda.
fall apart.
Okay. Okay, we have a lot of work to do.
Right. I have to get her ready. Take her home. I have to tell Mama.
We'll do it all together.
I don't know if that's the best way. I think we need to talk. Kaz, honey, I want you to go with them.
What? No, I can't. My place is with you. What if you need me?
I'll be okay. Our friends need you more. You have to keep them safe. I'll be with family. I'll catch up when I can.
No, Jory. It doesn't feel right. It's terrible. Your sister. I should be with you.
I love you for that. But no. You should be with them. We're talking about a dragon. The dragon that killed Belinda.
I don't like it.
I hear what you're saying, love. This is how it has to be. We have greater responsibilities. What do you think?
I'll go, but not tonight. Tonight I'm staying with you. I'll leave tomorrow when you do.
This is the best way. You'll see.
I hope you're right.
Sad moment. This makes you wish that we meet Jory's nobility heading mama one day. She has a very troubled family. Well, if you, as you continue in the Tom interview, he actually talks about Kaz and Jory and their intentions towards them a little bit. I won't spoil it. And Tom doesn't really spoil anything either, but he kind of talks about why they haven't been strongly featured in the story recently. Okay. Join your friends. Mentioned earlier, guild chats, they intended to explore the two as individuals in Saga and beyond. We were surprised that they brought back the relationship drama when they brought their year-long seclusion observing Kralk would have mended it, but apparently not. Oh, he mentioned that in guild chats too? I believe it. Okay. Zenith Skins. Very important choice, these Zenith Skins, you know. Let's see, which ones do I not have? Pistol, Harbinger. What's the Harbinger? Warhorn? Dagger. I'll never use one of these anyway. Oh, sorry for the humming. It'd be nice to meet Jory and Kaz's family. It's like Kaz's brother Kyle, whose gambling caused her dad's death in British prison. Yeah. It'd be nice if all the characters were fleshed out so that we felt more connected with them. Their motivations, their hopes. Okay, so did that. Let's have a look at the achievements. So it looks like I have... It's all dry top stuff. Alright. Let's head back into dry top and hang out there for a little bit. It's no problem. Oh, hang on. Am I not done with this with the story yet? Well, I guess I'm not. All right. Is this where I get to see the vision? Games like Genshin Impact flesh out characters via character stories unrelated to the main Golden Path narrative. You unlock side stories that give depth to the characters, and the same approach can be used for Guild Wars 2. I don't mind having story stuff be like outside the Golden Path. I don't get the sense that that's the approach Guild Wars will take for it, though. Like, it kind of depends. Like, if you need to understand a character's motivations in order for a main story point to make sense, like, you kind of should explore those motivations inside the Golden Path story, right? Like, that seems reasonable. Let's see. I'm getting lost. Where is the path downward? I'm going to turn up my effects volume for this so I can actually hear the cinematic. Let's see. Take a screenshot of what these sliders are at. Let's put them all at mid.
There you are. You were starting to worry. Where's Marjorie? You two are normally attached at the hip.
Shut up, Bram. Casimir, is Marjorie all right? Did something happen?
Her sister, Belinda, was killed at Fort Selma. Marjorie went home to be with her family and to mourn.
No, that's terrible. But wait, why are you here? Shouldn't you be with her?
I wanted to go with her, but she asked me to see this mission through. She's safe, at least, with family.
How's she holding up?
Oh, you know, she puts on a strong face, but I see right through it. I can see that she's hurting, and that she blames herself. She promised she'd join us as soon as she can.
Poor Marjorie.
I'm so sorry, Casimir.
Sorry, my friend.
Let me catch you up on what I've learned so far.
Guild Wars 2 said that some of the stories had to be cut because they couldn't be justified for the Golden Path. But you wonder if they sold the character side stories in Gem Store and made them earnable in game, they could circumvent this. I mean, I like that idea on principle. I guess the question is, why would you develop content for a character that's optional? Because then, if you ever referred back to those character developments in some way, then you would have to have bought the content as a DLC in order to understand the references. I don't know. I don't think Guild Wars 2 players would tolerate it. This was This was Scarlet's first ley line. It's a hub where multiple lines converge, still tiny compared to the one in Lion's Arch. Miners dug here, hit this pocket. I imagine the ley line messed with all their machines, so they abandoned the mine. But some must have talked and Scarlet heard about it. This is definitely where Scarlet began to intensely research ley lines. Yes, these machines let us see the magic that is usually invisible. What does all our research add up to? You realize if Scarlet hadn't lost her mind, she'd have been heralded as one of the greatest arcane researchers of the century. This is an unprecedented discovery, what all Asura dream of. Okay, I've ascertained that there's a disturbance in the ley lines that's affecting certain waypoints. Unfortunately, Scarlet was right. When we Asura placed the waypoints, some work better than others, so we get rid of the ones that didn't work and kept the ones that did. They work better when placed on the ley line, correct. Without even realizing what we were doing, we tapped into the power of the ley lines. It's no longer just theory, I can prove it now. How are waypoints affected? I'm 98.5% sure I can answer correctly. It's these vines, they have attracted the magical resources of the waypoints. The vines, okay, so you mean more amounts of corruption. Not exactly. If it's my belief, these vines we're seeing are coming directly from the dragon, spreading underneath. Directly from the dragon, spreading underground across Tyria. It's not just corruption, it's him. Ooh, spooky. And the free-moving ones above ground? As far as I can tell, they're corrupted and spreading. But our primary concern is the waypoint situation. If that gets worse, we could see in serious trouble.
I was just getting to that. I can build a device that will make the waypoints more efficient. They'll be less attractive to Mordremoth.
What do you need us to do?
At the moment, nothing. I have the matter well in hand, but there is something else. Something so amazing. Wanna see? Follow me. Hey, look! Can you believe your eyes?
What is it?
It's Omad's machine, you simpleton.
Hey, respect.
Sorry, but it's the very device that showed Scarlet the eternal alchemy. It still works.
Can I smash it? That thing's gotta be dangerous.
Absolutely not. Think about what we can learn. Besides, my mind is far more resilient than Scarlet's was.
I don't think you should mess with it. I'm inclined to agree with Bram. What do you think?
The Genshin side stories aren't necessarily to understand the main plot, so Guild Wars 2 could explore side stories that aren't necessary to understand the main plot. They flesh out characters. For example, resolving Jory's first unsolved murder case, maybe trying to necromancer cult, manipulating Frida. Not tied to dragons or any future antagonists, but still a character building story that isn't necessary to understand. Yeah, I mean, I think that they could do this stuff. I think the thing that this sounds like a no-go to me would be making it like optional content that had to be paid for. And are you familiar with the principle of Chekhov's gun? If you are, if you aren't, it's a principle of you are familiar with it, yeah. So like, if you build story content and make it completely optional and not a part of the rest of the world, like, is it really worth the trouble? You know. I guess I'm trying to see it from like a Rena's perspective. I don't get the sense that Guild Wars 2 has any trouble making money. I don't know if that's accurate, but I think it does pretty well with the model that it has. Guild Wars 1 certainly managed it with multiple optional side points, like the whole Raza thing that was optional. Yeah, I think one thing that made Guild Wars 1 different, though, is like every single campaign for that game was a completely different story, right? Whereas each expansion for this game continues the same story, more or less. So, like, you can make an expansion with some optional content with the Raza thing with Nightfall, and, like, they know they're never going to come back to that Nightfall content. Like, that content is done. It's over. They could incentivize it by not monetizing, but making these side stories earnable in games like Genshin does. Yeah, I love that idea. I mean, you can do it through the you can probably do some of it through the collection system, right? Give us little breadcrumbs that do even some like environmental storytelling, like go visit Marjorie's family's home while no one's there or something, and you just walk around and you read a bunch of things and you see a bunch of stuff, and maybe you run into someone. There are all kinds of cool ways they could do it. I just don't think that they'll lock it behind a paywall that's separate from the expansion or living world model that they're already doing. For some reason, the side story stuff became relevant. They could do it like they did in Season 3, Episode 1, summarize the first 3 raids by dialogue and recap cinematic. I saw my mail, yeah. I think they should just come back to this stuff as part of the Golden Path content. Maybe make one of the living world maps. Give us some of this stuff, you know? What do you think we should do? If this is the device Scarlet portaled here from Omad's lab, then it's got to be dangerous. It's like Scarlet added to it. Some of the parts look different or newer. So maybe I'm more nervous. Is it powered up? I think so. What do you remember about it? Timmy said it was designed to affect the mind. Open it to a new awareness. I heard the Scarlet... Why am I talking to Kaz about this? Why would she have an opinion? Am I just not paying attention here? I guess because Kaz was with us with the fight against Scarlet. So was Rox and Bram.
Oh no! We have to...
Don't touch anything. We don't know what... Timmy!
Can't get close. That thing is shooting off too much lightning.
I'll shield you. Get her out of there.
Oh, here we go. I just realized you lost my game sound. How long ago did that happen?
Hey, you okay? I think he's dead.
What? No. He's alive.
Tell us everything. What did you
Oh,
see?
but now you can hear my game sounds. Wait a second.
Once it had you, we were afraid.
Why did the audio turn off just for the...
started screaming and we had no choice.
How do you feel? When you're ready to talk, we're ready.
That's
to
weird. Hang on. I'm calling shenanigans. Ba, 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 ba. Here's what we're going to do first. Let's Our settings back to where they were. Alright. Yeah, also next to playing game for me are weird for some reason. I'm just gonna find it on YouTube and pull it up. Let's see if this is still set up right. Yeah. Wait, you're not gonna hear this. Hang on. There.
The pale fruits soul. I saw it. Do not question the dream. We must all play our parts. We must all play our parts.
Primordus, Jormag. What's the white one? Krauk? Primordus, Bubbles, Jormag. Zaitan, Krauk. Mordjamal was the last to wait. That's Mordjamal. So this is the Zaitan. What a cool animation. So you're hypothesizing that there's a duality, right? That being the case, though, for opposites, it's actually Primordus and Krauk who are opposite, not Primordus and... I guess if you do it left-right, instead of across the circle. So Mordremoth, Zaitan, Primordus, Jormag, Bubbles, Kralkatoric. Huh, interesting. Interesting. At least we got to hear it eventually. kind of confirmed this in Season 3, Episode 3, where we only managed to kill the unstable Icebird abomination infused with Zaitan and Morty by exposing it to exploding grubs infused with Morty and Zaitan. Aren't they letting go of all this stuff, right, though? Like, all the, like, magic types opposing each other? I have the sense that they're trying to let go of that stuff. The metaphysics of dragon magic. It was incredible. I had a vision. The eternal alchemy. I saw Tyria is woven and I'm tied up in it somehow. Vast energies flow through and around Tyria. I saw a dragon. It was part of the workings of the world. It came at me. I saw the pale tree at the heart of a vast moving puzzle. Scarlet did. It means we need to talk to her. She has political clout. She's important, perhaps more than we know.
I wish I'd seen it.
I'm glad you're okay. But you had magic flowing out of your ears.
Yeah, they did keep the Primordus and Jormag opposites, but they didn't talk about... It was all about, like, them being rivals, I feel like.
It was. Okay, guys, this is serious.
I'll have to go back through Icebird Saga again, see if I still think that. Can you explain more about what you saw? It's hard to describe. Peltry was in my vision, represented by a symbol we saw in drawings in Scarlet's room. We had to go talk to her. In the Grove? She may be our greatest ally. It's time to make the world aware of Mordremoth. We need to let leaders know. If we're lucky, they'll listen. I can't imagine any greater or more urgent threat than Mordremoth. We'll find a way. First, the pale tree. Man, this dialogue is so plodding compared to the pacing we get in later seasons. It's really interesting.
I'll mail you when I'm ready to go to the Pale Tree. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Done. There was a prophecy that only Primordus can kill Jormag, and Season 3 explained that supposedly they each other's weaknesses. We also see in novels Primordus has more weaknesses than just Jormag. Yeah. Okay, we're not going to do the Dragon's Reach. There was a prophecy that only Primordus... Oh, wait, I already read that. Destiny's Edge killed Primordus, the champion Edge of Destiny novel by exposing it to its own primordial fire that burns through its shell. Yeah, but do you get the sense, Constance, just like, if you break the fourth wall for a second, do you get the sense that the magical rules of this world, metaphysically, are actually important to the storytelling? Like, maybe it's just my layman's perception, but I don't really get the sense that when they're making storytelling decisions that they're thinking about these things. I think these are instances of like many seeds planted over many years that just went untended too long. Or too inconsistently. Maybe I'm just being cynical, though. I always wanted to go through here, man. I think the magic rules are made up on the fly, as many of the plots are. Writers keep changing every 2 years or so. It makes it hard to keep things consistent when plots continue. Yep. Well, it was a bonus experience. I haven't been down here in a little while. You imagine they'll explore some of the magic stuff and origins of Torment, depending on how much backstory we get on our Dragon's early years and Catherlily is the homeland of the dragons. Yeah, well, Kraug's Torment was a major plot point of War Eternal, right? If we don't get a follow-up on all this stuff that came out of War Eternal, I would be super bummed. Like, that was some important seeming shit. Who the hell is Mother? Teaser Mag had its own torment when it suddenly had that mad outburst at Arene in later Champions episodes. I don't remember that. Yeah, I guess that's something that would have been more fleshed out if Iceberg Saga had gotten the last 4 or whatever episodes they originally had planned for it. Still guesswork. Jormag snaps at Arene for keeping Primordus alone and how it gets angry at being tied to Primordus, how the balance kills them all. Shit, I just realized how late it is. Well, I have to come back tomorrow, chip away this dry top stuff. I gotta say, they've improved their ability to tell stories significantly since this stuff. It's really enormously apparent going back through this. I'm sure a lot of it is budgetary. Like, they clearly felt like they needed to deliver a lot of exposition and dialogue, but just did not have the VO budget for it. You theorize that mother, if not a physical mother, might be a spirit of the wild called dragon. There's old lore that suggests that spirits are the progenitors of the physical species. Huh, and somehow like it got out of balance or whatever. Maybe Bubbles is the mother dragon and the original like spirit or whatever. Do, 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 do. Old lore suggests that owls' death disappearance made all owls weaker and more confused, so these spirits affect the associated species somehow. You know what? I like that idea. I also think that the Norn desperately need more characterization and fleshing out. So anything to make the Norn more interesting. I remember how this works. I actually still have the old Dry Top event schedule sort of memorized. So you do that, and then you go over to Prosperity Waypoint, and you do the race. You can tag the race. And if you're truly enterprising after you tag the race, after this it's going to be Three-Toed Tootsie, I think. But I can scoot over to Repair Station Waypoint and tag the Scrit event. Look at this Dry Top memory coming back. People actually doing this event? Looks like no.
Attack! Yes!
Hey, there's someone else here.
Tell me something good.
Something good. Mother died, it might explain why other dragons turned ravage as her death or disappearance could have led to their downfall. What you kind of feel bad about Dry Top. The Silverway stuff is how you need to keep running all around to tags after a max loot. You wish it incentivized you to stick around one event or better rewards. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I agree. The incentives are kind of...
That one hit this unit's insulation.
These are their earliest attempts at map event design, right? Like meta event design.
Please recalibrate rock trajectories.
I guess the earliest ones would be like the ore metas, right? Like the shrines and Cursed Shore, or the invasion event in Straits Devastation. And Drizzlewood. I've been playing a lot. Actually, whenever I've been doing research for the podcast lately, I've just been mindlessly playing Drizzlewood while I've been listening to stuff, taking notes. was kind of fun. To make that jump? Probably not. What you like about the ore meta, before Mega Servers, your efforts and straits affected statues and other maps. So your contributions mattered. Mega Servers, man. Mega Servers. Oh, this ore calcum is well protected. Do I care enough? I guess I do. I mean, Guild Wars 2 will be a completely different game with no Mega Servers, I agree. I just am a bit of a boomer, and I like the idea of worlds where you run into the same people day in and day out because they're on your server, you know? They're on your realm. I think that the sense of community, for me personally, is more worthwhile than having a smooth experience. But I think I'm in the vast minority where that's concerned. This guy's going to knock me off. Why is this guy taking no damage? Maybe doing 3-toed Tootsie. I'm going to go over to Prosperity. Probably she's already dead. Yeah, they got her already. I wonder if there are any organized dry tops going on. Category would this be under? You need to do the event below to charge the generator first. Makes sense. You'll be interested in how they update the Timey and Gork dialogue in Eye of the North periodically during these return events. Are there dialogue updates in Eye of the North? I didn't know about that. Oops. Quan Peng said the recent timing Gork dialogue and another update periodically. I'm gonna go check that out. Maybe use that as an excuse to call it a night after we're done. It's getting late.
Give me a report.
Where are Gork and Timey? Are they over by Irene? Oh! Hot dog. Don't mind us, Commander. Just setting up a lab for important Elder Dragon research. Fate of the whole world depends on it. No big deal. Is this really the best location? If we're investigating the dragon cycle, we should be near a dragon, right? There aren't too many Elder Dragons left in the world, so Arene's our only bet. I guess you're right. We could have a more robust laboratory, I might assume. You can always use more data to isolate commonalities among the Elder Dragons. Find a pattern. You fought them for years, Commander. Said your memories could be clues to the dragon cycle. My memories? Ooh, do you need to poke around in the Commander's head? Leave my head alone. I was thinking we use the scrying pool to help the Commander read the memories of these past years. Ingenious, Gork. She's not wrong. Oh, well, thank you. And I guess this is referring to us going back and doing stuff? Huh. Interesting. Oh, there's more. I like my lab. I mean ours. It's our lab. It's a little cozier than Rada Novus. But the crew is much friendlier. How's it going with the dragon fallout? If it's dragon magic you want to talk about, I'm your specialist. What's up? The flow of magic. That's the question of the hour. Nothing to report yet, though. We have to assume, you know, but nothing's for sure yet. You know what they say about assuming, right? That's a very Commander line, I think. Nice lab. Planning to expand? Well, we take up the whole place if we could, but we can't just commandeer the place, can we? We'll bring in whatever we need to solve this world hanging in the balance and all. We'll get the same from Gork? Can you be more specific? Did Primordus' minions survive? Many destroyers seem to have immediately gone out, for lack of a better word. Stronger specimens seem to have persisted for the moment, though. Fascinating, resilient creatures they are. Did Jormag's army survive? Readings vary among the Ice Brood and Frost Legion. The most heavily ice-confused were extremely debilitated. A high percentage of outright fatality in the same group. Jormag's frozen. Jormag's demise hasn't unfrozen them, unfortunately. According to the Priory papers, thawing is occurring, but it may be lengthy. Some may never recover, we don't really know. That's sad. Equipment. I have everything we need and then some. The Arcane Council has been fulfilling all resource requests, no questions asked. I am not used to this level of resources, quite honestly. Think they're trying to make some amends for helping Jormag? I believe that's a rhetorical question. However, to no one's surprise, Primordus' death has skyrocketed the Council's approval metrics. The help could be from guilt or just spreading the wealth. Okay. Be sure to check the first timey dialogue option again. Oh, we're low on dragons. Can Irene handle the flow of magic alone? The Exalted believe Glint's scions, plural, would shoulder the burden. We only have Irene now. We're still here. Either she can handle it or something else is out there, or time is limited. Yeah. Okay. Na, 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 na. Sorry. Don't listen to my singing. Oh, interesting. Nice little flavorful teleport. I'll take it. Okay. So, other than grinding out the dry top achievements, is there anything else that I missed? This kind of addresses why the world hasn't ended despite dealing with Primordus and Jormag without replacements. I got it. Alright. Oh, cool. Let's just mine a couple of easy nodes. We need to do all the gathering. Right. Isn't there a rich quartz node up here? Maybe it's not always here. What the hell is this? Oh, this is from Vision. Oh. Alright. Maybe I'll work on this too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got the persistent one. The Griffin is so cool. Yeah, the Script Queen's Palace. I'm just gonna deal with some inventory stuff and call it a night. Season 2 was also revolutionary in that it was the first Guild Wars franchise soundtrack that featured a live orchestra playing the tracks. I didn't know that. That's very cool. Well, Costage, you've hung out for this entire stream and kept me company. This is really fun. My intention is, unless something better comes along, I'll probably be back tomorrow night working on those dry top achievements and maybe plinking away at Sky Scale, which I still have to do. Keep up the good work with your interviews. Thank you. I most definitely will. Got a busy few weeks ahead of me. I know you've already started watching the VOD of the Tom interview, but just so you know, whenever I always publish the YouTube version, which is all chaptered out, on Sunday night midnight Pacific time. So if you don't get to it all by then, it's going to be on YouTube. Might be a little more convenient for you. And yeah, I guess that's it. You love the YouTube chapter, listening to some videos. Good, good, good. I'm glad people use that. I have to go back and listen to the whole thing again in order to chapter it out. And some weeks I'm just not into it. Okay. Be it from me. See you, Gossage. Good night, Twitch.